The Battle of the Allia, fought in 390 BCE, was a significant conflict in the history of ancient Rome. It is most famously remembered for the disastrous defeat suffered by the Roman army at the hands of the Gauls, a powerful Celtic people who had migrated southward into Italy. This battle, which took place near the Allia River, has been described as a major turning point for Rome, both in terms of its military reputation and its eventual recovery and resilience. The context of the Battle of the Allia must be understood against the backdrop of Rome's ongoing expansion and its rivalry with various neighboring tribes. During this period, Rome was still a relatively young republic, navigating its way through challenges from surrounding communities. In 390 BCE, Rome was confronted by the Gauls, who were part of a larger Celtic migration into northern Italy. The Gauls were led by the chieftain Brennus, a figure who would go down in history for his decisive role in the sacking of Rome. The Gauls, after securing alliances with some of the neighboring Italian tribes, began their incursion into Roman territory. The Roman response was to raise an army to confront them. The Romans, under the command of consuls Marcus Fabius Ambustus and Lucius Cornelius Scipio, sought to intercept the Gauls before they could reach the city of Rome itself. The two armies met near the Allia River, located about 11 miles, 18 kilometers, north of Rome, in a confrontation that would have lasting consequences for the future of the Republic. The battle unfolded disastrously for the Romans. According to the Roman historian Livy, the Roman army, unprepared and ill-disciplined, was completely routed by the Gauls. The Romans were unable to mount a coherent defense, and their forces fled in disarray. Livy also recorded that the Romans were demoralized by the ferocity of the Gaulish attack, as well as their disorganization and lack of unity. The defeat at the Allia was so crushing that the Roman army, unable to reorganize or make a stand, retreated to the city. With the path to Rome now open, Brennus and his army moved south. Shortly afterward, the Gauls reached the gates of the city. The Senate, in panic, ordered the evacuation of the city's population, and the defenders of Rome retreated to the Capitoline Hill, a fortress that offered some protection. For several days, the Gauls besieged Rome, but the city's defenders managed to hold out. The sack of Rome occurred shortly after the Battle of the Allia, during which the Gauls looted the city. The Romans, under the leadership of their Senate and with some assistance from the Greek king of Syracuse, Dionysius I, managed to negotiate a ransom. In a famous episode, the Roman historian Plutarch described how Brennus demanded gold from the Romans, and when they protested the weight of the gold, he famously declared "Vi victus." Woe to the vanquished! Despite the horror and devastation of the Battle of the Allia and the subsequent sack of Rome, this event had significant long-term effects on the Roman Republic. The trauma of the sack galvanized the Roman people, fostering a deep desire for revenge and for ensuring that such a calamity would never happen again. The Romans embarked on extensive military and social reforms in the years following the battle, eventually transforming their army into one of the most formidable forces in the ancient world. The Battle of the Allia is also notable for its historical and cultural impact. The defeat, and the events that followed, left a lasting impression on the Roman psyche, giving rise to the idea of nemesis, the belief in a force that would seek to avenge the Roman people and restore their honor. Thus, while the Battle of the Allia represented one of Rome's lowest points, it also set the stage for the rise of Rome as a dominant military power in the centuries that followed.